Hey everyone, it's CJ Fox. Welcome back to another model locomotive review. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to check out my playlist featuring all my locomotives that I have previously reviewed. And today, this is going to be the first Broadway Limited imports model locomotive review. And as you can tell by the box, this is indeed one of the first generation Broadway Limited import models made using their iconic red boxes. And as you read in the title, the model inside is an EMD SD40-2 in Chicago Northwestern's livery, and this is a model of number 6911. And if you notice right here on the boxes of Broadway Limited boxes, this number 370 marks how many models they produced, meaning this is model number 370 that they produced. But I noticed online that they did make a few of these number 370s, and of course number 370 means it's going to have excuse me it would have an EMD SD40-2, specifically Chicago Northwestern 6911. And I saw like these at least 2 or 3 of this particular model I saw on eBay for sale for about $200. I got mine through a trade at the Broadway club I am part of. Anyhow, to showcase the box here, on your backside here it just says Broadway Limited and the address of the location, which is in the same location it has been when Broadway Limited Import started in 2001. And this particular model was made, according to the decoder, when I cracked it open and looked inside the locomotive model itself, was made in 2005. And the type of decoder, as you see right here, has an older QSI sound decoder, which they are actually pretty darn good recorders. They're somewhat reliable, but when they go out, you're going to have to replace them with something else because QSI is no longer in business. The other side, Paragon series, and no, this is not the Paragon that is infamous for being, well, not very reliable. Looking at you, Paragon 3. But usually Paragon 1, such as this, and Paragon 2 are actually fairly reliable. So, other side of the box, exact same things, except upside down. But yeah, let's open up this box and take a look at the model and what it looks like. Now, inside the box, there's this foam brick. And this is what essentially is protecting the model. So to open it, you see there's a little groove right here. That's the separation between two pieces. Now we just take the lid off, put that off to the side, and inside is the model. At first hand looks, it looks to be in very good condition, but when I got it through the trade that I did this past Thursday evening, it was, the model was much to be desired. Of course, let me just take this out here. And in here there's, I don't know what this is. I think that's like a part, I think this is a part separator. Okay. So yeah, let me just put this off to the side. And now let's take a look at the model here. The Broadway Limited imports, back then when they first started out, their models still look pretty good for being, this is from 2005, of which how I found that out is when I first got it, this thing was covered in dust, and I mean very thick, dirty dust. The nose was covered, the cab was covered, all around the vents. It was looked like it'd been painted, or painted to look like it's weathered, but no, that's dust and debris. And I did not want that. So when I got home, I decided to clean it up, and boy did it clean up nicely. Still looks as if it's brand new, even though this model is 19 years old. And what I mean by 19 years old, meaning this model was made in 2005. And it has all the proper detailing of EMD's SD40-2. It's an absolutely gorgeous model. The paint on this model is absolutely stunning. The decal with the Chicago Northwestern logo on it, that looks nice and crisp. It has the builder plate right there with General Motors, and not sure if you can read that under magnification. Looks like you can read some of it if you have a magnifying glass. Then of course with the SD40-2 it has the iconic front porch along with the back patio deck. So if I were like the crew member on one of these kind of engines, you can literally set up a little pulled up table and your lawn chair on the back and get some sun rays and vitamin D when you're taking a break. So yeah, that's kind of showcasing the details. It does have molded on windshield wipers on the windows, 6911 on the number boards, the horn, headlight. These would have been classification lights, but Chicago Northwestern, I guess on this model they painted over those. It is missing our grab iron on the side here, but that should be easy to replace with a brass hand railing. Otherwise, the rest of the hand railing is not bent, broken, or chipped or warped. All the back grab irons are all intact. Same for these two. All the vents and the lifting loops. I forget what these are called, but I know that they're used for essentially winching the model up in the air for maintenance or restoration. And it has all of the radiator vents, the dynamic brake vents, the exhaust, the dynamic brake air intake vent. I think that's what it's called. Feel free to remind me of what exactly this vent is. And here's another air intake, I believe. You got the, excuse me, the dogs are barking upstairs for some reason. Anyhow, there's a nice brass bell. Excuse me. Part about that, my dogs just started barking for no reason. Anyhow, with other details, again, there's windshield wipers on the back right there, and there is the cab door for the engineer side, and the conductor side is over here. But these doors do not open, what it appears to be. And these little foot plates also are molded along with the handrails. And the brake levers, coupling levers, those are static, they don't move. It has, from what I could find, these are clearly put on by the previous owner, that these are KD couplers, which is a nice upgrade. Underside, nothing really to mark home around, but of course there is a brass bell right here. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before. And underside's pretty barren. It does say made in China and Broadway Limited Imports LLC, stamped in the die-cast fuel tank, because this isn't a gas tank, these are diesel. So yeah, that kind of goes over the details of the model here. Now, for a little bit about the EMD SD40-2 and a little bit of history of this particular unit and of the model itself. EMD produced the SD40-2 from 1972 till 1989 for various railroads, with over 3,982 units produced during that time period. And Chicago Northwestern had a handful. I believe they had about 135 of them, I would think. Let me see here. Chicago Northwestern had 135 units that they ordered, numbered from 6801 to 6935. And 6911 here was built in 1975. These units produced about 3,000 horsepower, which is pretty darn good for the time period with emissions and all that. And they were a CC or a COCO type wheel configuration, which EMD called their 6-axle locomotives SDs, or special duty. The GP means general purpose, which is a 4-axle unit. And these were, in the length of these locomotives, were 68 feet 10 inches, had a width of 10 feet 3 1/8 inches. Oh, 10 feet 3 1/8 inches, and a height of 15 feet 7 1/8 inches. And the locomotive weight is 368,000 pounds. And these had a fuel capacity for between 3,200 gallons and 4,000 gallons of diesel fuel. And they were powered by a prime mover EMD 16-645E3 V16 diesel locomotive, and it was turbocharged. And these also had a maximum top speed of 65 miles an hour, so they weren't exactly, well, they weren't for passenger service. They were primarily freight, and later in life they became switcher diesels for many railroads. Now, for Chicago Northwestern 6911 here, this particular model, as I mentioned before, was built in 1975, and he continued service for the Chicago Northwestern. Anyway, this engine served for the Chicago Northwestern until the acquisition by Union Pacific in 1995, and then in 1996, 6911 was repainted and renumbered in Union Pacific colors and renumbered to 3705, if that is correct. Yeah, 3075, excuse me. And it served on Union Pacific. Based on pictures I could find, I'll showcase pictures. Here's what they originally looked like with Chicago Northwestern colors, which is identical to the model right here. And then in Union Pacific, it looked like this. And then sometime after 2008 and 2014, there's kind of a pictures gap. And then it served on the Tri-County Railway. I believe that was in Canada. And it served on that railway until, well, I don't really know. The pictures kind of stopped after 2014. But it was kind of cool with the Tri-City Railway. It was painted in this red, white, and blue livery. And I'll showcase a picture here or two. And that only goes up to 2014. And then sometime probably in the late 2010s or early 2020s, it got bought by the Battle River Railway, or BRR in Canada, where it serves currently up till today. And the last picture I could find was taken as of March of 2023. So I'll showcase that right here. So yeah, that's kind of the history of 6911, and let me fix this snowplow here. Okay, now with the snowplow out in the way, and there's a stupid fly. Let's get this over to the track, demonstrate its capabilities, how much it can pull, and also go over its sound functions. So, alright, I got it up here up on the layout. So let's turn on the track power. And you will hear the prime mover start up. Now, mind you, this decoder is 19 years old, so it's best to take it nice and easy with this locomotive. So, function 0, which is the headlight, which on this particular model does light up the number boards. You can't really tell from this angle because most of the light is in the cab, and it kind of bleeds, of course, into the cab. And maybe someday I ought to crack this locomotive model open and fix that issue to isolate the light just for the headlights. So function number 1 is the bell. Function number 2 is the horn, and this is actually kind of funny. You might recognize that horn because this is the exact same horn sound effect as on my Canadian National GP9, meaning the sound files are identical for the SD40-2 and the GP9 with QSI. F3, I believe, is the coupler clicking or coupler thing. Function number 4. I heard some noises, but I'm not sure what that was because I don't have instructions on this. F5. F6, 7. I guess that's some kind of valve release. I think that might be the air brake release. F8 mutes the sound. F9. And we'll start revving it up. Okay, I guess F9, when you double click it, makes the engine on standby mode. So, let's see if this will help me move. Nope. Okay. Okay, that's weird. Okay, there we go. Okay, I guess it's on standby mode, so just give me a moment to get back to operation. Okay, I think I figured out what was going on. Oop, must be dirty track. Here's my cleaner. Yeah, I guess it doesn't like this piece of track here. Anyhow, I figured out, turns out there's a whole startup sequence and go on standby mode and shutdown mode. So if I double click on function number 9, that shuts down the locomotive like this. I think. Okay, that's standby mode. Okay, now this is shutdown mode. Okay. Yeah, basically it's a shutdown mode, and function number 10 right here.
ID6911. Standby.
Okay, it's on standby mode.
ID6911. Standby. ID6911. Shut down.
I guess this is going to be the shutdown mode. Okay, as you saw there, that's I guess there's kind of a sequence of buttons to turn the locomotive on and off. You can see here the engineer leaving the cab with the doors closing and shutting. That's actually pretty cool. And then to, let me press F10, and it should say shutdown.
6911. Shut down.
Alright, locomotive is shut down. Now let's fire it up. Alright, I found the startup sequence. Engineers getting into the cab. Lights on. Here we go. Yep, locomotive's ready to go. So yeah, that's kind of a synopsis of the sounds. I'm still learning as I don't have any instructions for this. So I guess you're learning at the exact same time I am learning. So yeah, as you see to the right of your screen, I do have a train all set up. So let's roll it out and hook up to the train and just enjoy looking at the locomotive running around the layout. Dirty part of the track. Maybe it's a switch. Yeah, I think it is the switch. So yeah, that's kind of its basic performance. As you should expect with Broadway Limited, they are always very, very smooth runners, steam and diesel. Of course, this being my first diesel, and it left a pretty good impression on me so far. Even though I got it just recently, I'm in love with it. Plus, it's even synchronized with another Chicago Northwestern diesel that I own. That's an SD50, which was supposed to be the successor of the SD40-2. But you all know how the SD50 went. And eventually I'll make a model review video on that model too. And it turns out these both of my models, the SD50 and this 6911 here, they are very much in sync, and I can double head with them. So that's kind of a bonus. Despite this being an older model, it still checks out, and QSI, despite being an older decoder, it still runs very, very good. So I definitely recommend getting an older Broadway Limited Paragon 1, or if you can find the blue line version of this, or if they made a Paragon 2 version of this, I do recommend them. This thing's a fantastic runner. I did mention that I was going to do a pull test, but I have yet to complete any trials in regards to pulling and see how many cars this thing can pull. And since this thing is actually pretty heavy for being the whole body's made out of plastic, but the die-cast metal chassis does make up for that weight, and I'm sure it can pull a pretty decent train. So with all that pretty much out of the way, I will like to conclude this model locomotive review. And I do have a whole, like I've said previously in the beginning of this video, I do have a whole playlist featuring all different types of model locomotives that I have reviewed, and they are all from my own private collection. This has been CJ Fox. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Feel free to please like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. It'll really help my channel tremendously. Anyway, this has been CJ Fox. I hope you all have had a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Talking beats.